you recently said something, I think, about healthcare, which we'll talk about later on.
But let's go back to transparency because I don't want to. I don't want to let that go.
Yeah.
Everyone that voted for Trump Vance, everyone was like, release the Epstein files.
Right.
This is not even an argument. It's not even debatable. It's not being a traitor to the president to sign my name on a Thomas Massie discharge petition to release the Epstein files. No. I am staying true to what we've always said. There needs to be transparency. But the things that have shocked me this past week, and I was thinking about it this morning, I was like, I've been here in Washington all week, and I've been at my office. I've been in the Capitol. There's two things I couldn't find this week. I couldn't find anywhere the Epstein files, and I also couldn't find the Republican plan to fix the absolutely destroyed health insurance industry that got wiped out in 2015 with Obamacare. Yeah. Like, those are the two things I can't find. And when Republicans, and I'm criticizing also Congress big time. I'm really grateful to a lot of the things the president is doing, but I'm really upset with the direction Congress is going. But when we are not doing anything to address the cost of living, we aren't doing anything about Blackstone buying up houses where most young people can't find a house and they're having to compete in bidding wars.
Right.
And we're not doing anything about health insurance premiums. Then for the love of God, what are we doing?
Right. Why are the Epstein files such, I mean, we could all imagine why they're such the third rail of American politics. Is it because a foreign government or an ally of America was blackmailing our politicians? We don't want that out. Is that a crazy thing to suggest? Is that a wild thing to say? Or is that, in your estimation, a very likely and possible reason that these things are not coming out?
Well, I can actually, Ty, will you look and get my purse and hand me my purse?
Do you have the Epstein files? If you have the Epstein files in your purse right now, we're going to get more views than we ever have. I pray she's about to take the Epstein files out of this. If you take the Epstein files out of this purse right now, I'm telling you, we'll get so much YouTube revenue. I'll buy houses for the people that can't afford them.
I'm gonna read you a little list that Thomas Massie read.
Okay.
And I can only read it because he's already read it on the House floor.
This is the most heinous crime ever, by the way. It's crimes against children.
Okay, these poor women, by the way.
Yeah.
These poor women.
Right.
Raped. They went in front of the biggest press conference I've ever seen in Washington and stood in front of cameras, shaking, terrified, and talked about being raped when they're 14 years old.
Jesus.
I mean, and there's known hundreds of them, but they think there's an estimated 1,000 or more of women. And these women are begging. They've done everything they can. Everything they know how. They went to the police. They've filed lawsuits. They have done everything they can, and they're terrified. There's a group of them. It's not all of them. There's a smaller group of them that really say that it wasn't just him, and they are scared to release the names, and it's understandably so because when you release big names like that,
you get sued.
Absolutely,
right.
Get sued into the ground. Now Thomas Massie read, and we don't have those names yet, okay? Just to be clear, we don't have those names, but we have a description of them.
Okay.
So let's go over this descriptive list.
Yes.
All right? And then people can really understand why these women, and why I myself said, I'm not suicidal.
Right.
But I am afraid of, this has been so suppressed, it has been so covered up, and it makes no sense. But let's just go through a few things. A Hollywood producer worth a few $100 million, a royal prince, a high-profile individual in the music industry, a very prominent banker, a high-profile government official, one high-profile former politician, one owner of a car company in Italy, one rock star, one magician, half a dozen billionaires, including one from Canada. So, and Thomas Massie read that on the House floor. So this is okay to say. It's already been said.
Right.
And we have speech and debate clause. We can talk about this.
Right.
However, when you think about a list like that, those are very powerful people with a lot of influence. And that's just the list of these people. It doesn't include the foreign country governments that Jeffrey Epstein was involved in.
Right.
The circles that he walked in, the business that he was able to do. And this guy didn't seem that impressive to be able to end up in that kind of position.
Right. It feels like there's something incredibly damaging, not only to those incredibly powerful and wealthy people, but it does feel like there's something in the intelligence world they don't want coming to light.
We were told by the women's attorney very specifically in our private oversight meeting that the press wasn't in. We were specifically told, they said, you need the CIA files. They said, get the CIA files.
Which are probably destroyed.
Here's what I think. You know what?
I
look at a lot of this stuff.
Not to be negative,
No,
but they've destroyed countless.
Absolutely.
Right.
Tim, and any common American knows that.
Yes.
It's like to really think that there's some super duper secret room that really contains this information still sitting there is really naive. Probably a lot of information on many issues has been destroyed. And this is why maybe we'll never find out. But is it worth trying?
1,000%.
Yeah, it's worth
And
trying.
you've become a hero of people, by the way, that have survived sexual assault and rape at the hands of powerful people that couldn't do anything about it. Maybe not necessarily in this case, but people all over the country and the world that are going, they're not seeing a lot of people be a champion for them.
See, that's the message, I think. I think that's the message that we're sending to some teenage girl or teenage boy. I mean, kids.
Whoever, yeah.
People trapped in a situation that they think they can't get out of. Someone that was maybe kidnapped when they were younger and they're seen being held in a human trafficking situation. If we don't at the top level of our government push for transparency against the most well-known convicted pedophile in history and his network of influence, if we don't push back to release that information, then the message that we're sending these people, and it's very real, is that they have no hope. And I don't ever want anyone like that to think they have no hope.
Reportedly, Trump is talking to the DOJ about, and this could be it could be a headline that I misunderstood, about potentially pardons for Ghislaine Maxwell and Diddy. Is that a joke? I mean, this is in the news.
I know. I hope it's a joke.
Yeah.
George Santos has been in solitary confinement.
And you wrote him a letter trying to get him out.
Of course. When you have George Santos sitting in solitary confinement, but there's consideration given to P. Diddy and Ghislaine Maxwell.
Yeah, it seems odd.
That's I'm sorry. We can't do that.
Yeah.
And I'll say on top of this, I think the prison system is a terribly flawed system. I think it needs an overhaul all the way around. I'm not for just releasing criminals. I'm not saying that, but I think we could do better in that system, especially, I mean, just given the fact that I know what happened to George Santos and I know what happened to so many people arrested on January 6th.
Right.
And I know their circumstances. We could do a lot better job in that area, but I just have to say that it's not going against the president because the women have already said that he did nothing wrong.
It's about transparency.
Yeah.
It's about releasing what you have.
Yep.
And it's about treating the American people like adults.
Yeah.
Who can handle the reality that a lot of people in this country that are very prominent have done horrible things.
Right.
Yeah.
And we can, Democrats deserve their criticism. They could have done this in the past 4 years.
Well, I think
didn't do it.
It's kind of mutually assured destruction, right?
Yes.
I don't think anyone believes this is like a partisan problem. You know?